actor from Mexico City. I moved here to do more camera work, basically. I think that my favorite thing to do would be probably horror stuff. Like it really turns me on, I guess.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Malas? Welcome to the best bad decision of your life. My name is Crystal. I'm also known as the Chingana author, and today I'm kicking off a new interview series where I talk to the actors who helped to bring my story to life. This interview is part of my upcoming novel series. It's called You Fight Like a Girl, which is about a young gay man who joins an all-girls fight club. Today I'm sitting down with Hector Zapata, who played Angel Guerrero in my live-action proof-of-concept trailer. Angel is the main romantic lead and the complicated love interest of Patrick Boss, who's the main character who joins the fight club. So let's get into it. Hector, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, and could you just introduce yourself really quick and the kind of work you enjoy as an actor, and how did you first get involved with You Fight Like a Girl?
Yeah, well, my name is Hector Zapata. I am from Mexico City. I'm an actor from Mexico City. I moved here to do more camera work, basically. I think that my favorite thing to do would be probably horror stuff. Like it really turns me on, I guess.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I love horror a lot. So like, I don't know. I feel like if I get to like, if I have like an idea of where I want to be in my career, I think it would be like horror stuff.
Nice.
And about You Fight Like a Girl, I read this Facebook post that you did, and just reading the description of the characters and the idea of the story, I was like, oh my god, this sounds really interesting for me to play, because also it's like a fight club, and I'm a boxer, so like I love fighting and I love like doing contact and like stage combat and things like that. So yeah.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, because that's basically what I did. The first thing I did was do Facebook posts to get actors. You can find a lot of people like that on Facebook, and for the rest of the actors, I used Actors Access. So those are great ways. Another thing that I wanted to ask was, so when you did see it on Facebook, what made you want to be a part of the project, and did anything about the story, the concept spoke to you personally? And as a gay man, did anything about the story feel especially familiar or meaningful for you?
Well, I think it was about, there's two things. I've been doing a lot of like mental work and like emotional work and stuff, and I've discovered and I've learned a lot about myself, and in that journey I learned that masculinity is really fragile. And
You said it, not me.
yeah, and then especially as a Latino person, I come from a family where like I am queer, I'm gay, and I'm openly gay, but growing up definitely was this feeling of like, should I come out? Who do I tell this? How is my family gonna take this? You know, and I think that's what it was really familiar to me. Like I also came out as bisexual to my parents for the first time years ago, which I think it's funny. So I think that's what I found familiar about it. Like this idea of being a masculine person who probably was never able to experience or explore his sexuality just because all of the family or all of the context that he was surrounded by. So yeah, I think that was what's mostly caught my eye or my attention into this project for sure.
Oh, okay. No, that's good, because that was something I really wanted. I wanted the story to feel authentic. You know, to queer men too, and I didn't want it to be like gratuitous or anything. And also, I just don't think we see too many queer men in those roles, really. Usually if a movie comes out, it's like, well, they usually don't see a gay guy be violent or anything like that. It's super rare. You know, I have seen it before, but again, super, super rare. And so for playing Angel, what were your first impressions of Angel as a character, and what parts of him did you connect with the most? And did when you were portraying Angel, Was it in a way that you don't see often with gay male characters?
I think personally, I think I'm a masochist, so I love I love hard and big emotions, and when I'm in stage or when I'm doing any kind of work, I like how it feels to cry and to feel pain and to portray these emotions. I think it's really exciting and really challenging to get there. And with Angel in particularly, I think there's a lot of a struggle in between who he is, who everybody wants him to be, who everybody sees him like, and who he probably is finding out he's actually is, you know? So I think that's really interesting to me as an actor, to be like, oh, okay, this character is not just like this stereotype or like this person or this character that is just there doing something. It's mostly the challenge of portraying this feeling of like, oh, I want this, but I don't. So like, it's this struggle inside of it, like that actually gives like more intensity and more like interesting things to the work as an actor, I think. Yeah.
No, yeah, I get you. Like when I was coming up with Angel, yeah, I really wanted him to be like kind of in your face, you know, and super confident. And, you know, in the beginning of the story, he's straight, right? And it's not until like he recognizes his feelings for Patrick that he realizes he's not so straight. Yeah. And then he might really be bisexual later. So that happens later in the story. Yeah. And in the trailer, I wanted to, and I think we showed it pretty well, you know, how both the characters, you know, feel. I mean, Patrick, the main character, he's gay, right? But it's like he's really on the down low about it. He does not, you know, he's not out about it. And that's due to his past, which happens later on in the story, then you find out. And yeah, you know, I think we did that pretty well in the proof of concept trailer. It was really something I wanted to make sure we portrayed very well. And I think we did, you know, and like Patrick is so in the closet that not even his best friend, Angel's sister, knows. You know, that's how far it is. Only Patrick's immediate family knows. You know, so Angel doesn't even know for the longest time. You know, which is kind of delicious when he does find out later. I promise it is. And there's some other questions, you know, kind of about masculinity and violence and representation. Like, how did you feel about playing a gay character who is physical, confrontational, and intense?
Well, it's interesting. Again, like talking about masculinity and how we portray these characters in general and like how we go about ourselves in life. Again, as a queer person, as a gay person, it's just sometimes I find these phrases and these things out there being like, oh, I would have never thought you're gay because you look so masculine, you know, or like you look so straight, like you like never, I would never thought of it. Or girlfriends being like, oh my god, I was so in love with you and then I discovered that you were gay and the blah blah blah. It's just like it's actually interesting because to me it doesn't hurt, right? Like I don't care. But it's definitely this idea of like, oh, because I work out this way or because I move this way or because I talk this way or I do certain things, that means that I don't have the room to be gay. Like how should I behave for these reasons, you know?
I know.
So it's really interesting to just be able to embody my own emotions. Like I'm a really masculine dude and I love masculinity. I love being a dude. I love being a male. I love being like boy presenting and it's just nice to find characters where I can find that struggle too that I also had when I was coming out when I was younger. And also like this strength and this like intense things of like, yeah, I can dominate the room and I'm able to like be violent and be intense and go for it and do these things. And that doesn't mean that doesn't affect or change anything in the fact of who I'm attracted to or how I experience my sexuality, you know? Yeah.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like growing up, like I met some boys who were, masculine presenting. You know, they looked straight, and it's like even I would be surprised that they were gay. You know, not in a bad way, I hope, but like, and then be honest, I met some effeminate guys that were actually straight. You know, it was crazy.
No, totally, and I think that's the thing. It's just like I think we have this really wrong idea that we have to behave or do certain things just because we like certain things, which I think is dumb, you know. But that's how we learn, I guess.
No, precisely. I mean, like me personally, in case anyone's, you know, curious, I'm straight. I'm a straight woman, and it's like people in my life have thought I was gay just because I'm such a tomboy. You know, like which I get it. I'm not gonna lie, I get it. I totally get it. And it used to like kind of like annoy me a little bit, but now I'm like, whatever, I don't care anymore. You know, but I don't want to like misrepresent anybody though, you know, or break some poor girl's heart. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. But yeah, like I totally understand that. And do you think there's still a stereotype around gay men that are allowed to show strength or aggression? Like, you know, because like I said, most people expect gay men to be, I don't want to say weaker, but you know,
delicate maybe.
Delicate,
I don't know. I think that as a community we are definitely going to a better place. I don't know if we are in the best position right now, especially in representation in media. But definitely there's more things out there. Like if you actually do more research and if you actually like get into all of like queer and more gay content and actually like watch all of these movies and all of these shows that people are actually proposing right now, it's interesting. I think it's a terrain for sure that people are just starting to discover. It's a place that we are definitely just finding that there's opportunity for. I don't think there's necessarily a lot of it yet, but there's definitely work being done. I do think that right now, 2026, there's a lot of things out there that you're like, okay, this is not the regular sketch show or the regular party of a gay person in a show, or like the regular queer dude and you know, like it's just not as weird and out of nowhere or just like put there that it was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. I think that today there's definitely more opportunity. I definitely think that there's more space for us to explore those things for sure.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. You know, it makes me kind of glad I was born in this time period. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, I think it's a lot better now to show, you know, men being this way, even gay men. And another question I had is, why do you think it's important to expand how queer characters are portrayed on screen?
Well, it's just simple because we need representation. Like, as a gay man growing up, I saw all of these gay stereotypes on TV or in movies, right? And then you also grow up and you look at all of these white people doing gay people, and it's like, okay, well, where are the Latino gay people, right? Where is the poor Latino gay people? Where is the people who are homeless or on the streets or got to this country in different circumstances that we're not seeing these stories, right? We're seeing the LA WeHo classic queer people all the time on TV, and it's fun and it's interesting. Of course, as a gay person who lives in West Hollywood, it's fun, but at the same time, I do think that there's this need of representation for us as Latino people in TV, just in general, and especially in like queer spaces. I feel like we don't see a lot of like Latino representation in like queer content, probably. So I think that's important. I think we need to show that. I would love to see, like when I was little, a character who looked like me, who moved like me, who acted like me, who did everything like me, and be like, oh, but he's also gay, you know? So like,
yeah, the trifecta right there.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important for future generations to be like, okay, I'm not alone. You know, these things that I'm feeling is not just me. There's someone else out there who made it through, or who also was able to accomplish things by doing who he was.
No, exactly. And I feel the same way too. When queer people are portrayed in TV or films, it usually is in a stereotypical way. Like, a lot of them are white, sure, and very effeminate. And they're kind of just there for jokes and laughs. Like, they're usually not even there. The closest you get is them flirting with another guy, and that's it. You usually don't see them in an actual relationship, you know. And there's been tons of more shows now, you know, that show that. I mean, even back then, I think, have you heard of Queer as Folk?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never really got into it, but I did hear of it, yeah.
Okay, I did see, like, some clips of episodes, really never the full episodes. But I remember seeing it on YouTube like years ago, I think when I was in middle school around there, and I was like, dang, this is pretty interesting. And it was a very amazing show. I think it was the very first openly queer show with queer male main characters. And it showed the whole shebang with them. They weren't stereotypes. They weren't anybody's sidekick. They were main characters, and it was about what they were going through in their lives and their relationships. You know, and there are more shows like that these days too, which is great. You know, because, we need more than just stereotypes. You know, we need archetypes, whatever you want to call them. We just need more broader representation.
Exactly.
You know, that's another reason why I wanted Angel to be Mexican. You know, and I wanted more of that representation in there. Like, I know the main character's white, but, you know, like I said, I wanted some more color in there, and I was like, I'm going to make it, and no offense, if there's great queer couples that are, like, both white, both black, both Mexican, whatever. But, you know, I kind of like the interracial part of it, too. I also like that, too. You know, because Angel makes fun of Patrick for being, like, this rich, British white boy, you know, which we did a little bit in the trailer, you know, which was cool. And me personally, you know, I'm very mixed, right? A lot of people are almost always asking me what I am, you know, and I'm full of a lot of things. I'm kind of like a black Latina almost, you know. I got like some African, Honduran, Mexican, Italian, and some Arabic from what my mom said, you know, lots of stuff, you know, and I almost never saw anybody look like me on screen. Very, very, very rare. Closest would be Indian girls, maybe. You know. But I love it when I see an actor who looks a lot like me, and I'm just like, oh, look at that. It is nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah, to be like, it's not just me.
Exactly, So, you know, like, I'm glad we were able to do stuff like that. You know, some other questions I had was, for the story itself, did the girls fight club thing, like, surprise you at all in the, you know, when you were reading the post on Facebook?
I think it's funny. I think one of the reasons that caught me was that it was really funny. Like, you see shows with fight clubs, and usually are like dudes lifting, doing bars, getting nasty and dirty, and you can go like really sexual into it too, right? Like, you could, like, it's just, you know, who doesn't want to look at boys fighting each other shirtless? But I think it was funny, and it was fun, the idea of like, this is not a fight club this is not a story where you're gonna go see a fight club full of like hot dudes fighting each other. It was more like, this is a bunch of girls who have their shit together, and they're practiced together, and they're probably stronger than a lot of characters in this whole universe. So I think that was really interesting. I think that was really fun. I read it and I was like, that's funny. That's a good approach. I think that's really interesting.
No, thank you. Yeah, because it's like how I came up with this story. It's like, you know, I saw this movie Bottoms. Have you heard of that? Yeah, so it's like, there's actually, when I looked it up, there's a few movies actually with like girls fight clubs, but I don't hear about them. They're not marketed that well, because I get it. I guess people just don't like seeing girls fight. They don't like seeing that. Even if women are fighting each other, they don't really, it's not that popular, but it's getting there. Because Bottoms, out of all those other movies that I looked up, like, that one, like, was I guess the most well marketed. You know,
it's pretty fun. Bottoms is really fun.
Exactly. But I couldn't help but think, like, I noticed they didn't have a male sparring partner in that movie, which they didn't have to, I guess. But I couldn't help but think, like, well, what if there was a male sparring partner and he wasn't just like a throwaway male sparring partner? What if he was like really involved? And then, you know, it's like, well, what if he was gay? You know, and all this other stuff, and it just kept compounding from there, and that's kind of how I came up with the story. And
it's also the comfort of it. Like I'm a gay person again, and I started boxing 3 years ago, and it was really interesting for me to walk into a space where there's a lot of dudes fighting, there's a lot of dudes punching. There's a really masculine and male energy at the gym that I go to because it's just boxing all the time, right? And when you come into these places as a queer person, sometimes you can be intimidated because you're like, I don't know, who am I gonna find? So I think that this is really, really interesting because it's like as a gay people, we actually try to go towards women. I feel like we feel more comfortable and safer in those environments. So I think it's interesting that this is exactly like a fight club with girls. And obviously this guy who's like really, really quick and he's never fought in his life, he feels comfortable with a group of women who he feels safe being taught how to fight.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I thought the progression was kind of natural too, because I mean, like, again, some backstory on the main character, Patrick. He used to be very comfortable around guys, very, very comfortable. But then, like, certain things happened in his patch, which I do not want to spoil. And then he was not comfortable around men anymore. And it's like when he came to America with his family, he became almost a recluse. And that's why when Angel, who's always trying to be around him, which drives Patrick crazy, it's enemies to lovers, by the way, if I didn't explain that before. It's like, even though Angel doesn't like him, he's always trying to be around Patrick, and it drives Patrick nuts. There's always excuses he looks for, and Angel just subconsciously doesn't really understand that. He just thinks he's annoying Patrick, which he is, but he doesn't understand the depths of how it's going. And so when Patrick sees these girls, fighting and all this stuff, he wants somewhere to belong, and he's tired of being so alone. The very few friends he has are always busy, and so that's why he goes to them and like, can I be in your club and all that stuff. And in the trailer, we have Amber, the leader, who I play in the proof of concept trailer, and she's like, nah, no men in the club. And she doesn't just hate men just because, she has her own backstory too, and it's like Angel later, we show this very briefly in the proof of concept trailer when Patrick is kind of low-key flirting with Angel towards the end and all that stuff. It's like, the girls are wary of Angel because he was the type of guy they didn't want in the club. They didn't mind Patrick so much just because, he's much more gentlemanly. He never really flirts with them, not in like a serious way or something, which is a reason why Amber didn't want a guy in the club in the first place. So he's like, even one guy's enough to cause problems, But then Patrick kind of proves himself with that, And the other thing is, I wanted to mention, like, I don't know if I told you this, but I think you were the very first person that I casted in the trailer too, and so I think it's pretty cool and fitting of the first person I interviewed as well, so that's cool. Thanks for being early to the party.
Of course, thank you.
Because it's like, when I saw your audition, I realized, like, he's really good as Angel, and the fact that you were gay honestly kind of helped a bit, which was I wasn't expecting that. I did want to keep it open when I was auditioning. The actor did not have to be queer, but it was a damn good plus. It was a very good plus. And the fact that you said you boxed, helped a lot too. Angel also does like jujitsu and stuff like that too, but it's like, the boxing was very helpful, for the fight scenes, so don't mess with Hector. Okay, don't mess with him. Yeah, so it was like, it was a lot of things that just kind of kept going, and then for the other characters, I can't wait to interview them too after this, but another thing was that, I do hope to make this like a bigger thing. I'd love to do another trailer if possible, and there's just so many things I'd like to do. There's so many things that happen in the story. And it's like, were you ever curious about where the story was going to go at all? I think to me, this seems like one of those stories like Teen Wolf or like Vampire Diaries kind of thing, where like you get
you can build a lot of universe around it. You could do a really nice episodical thing with it. I think that would be really interesting. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity for exploration in this for sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, speaking of that, in case anybody's like curious about these masks right here, so they're not in You Fight Like a Girl, but I did make a companion story. It was a short story called A Man's Fight, and that one's published right now at the time of this recording. And this one's like a what if story. Like, what if Patrick did not join the Girls Fight Club? You know, what if the Fight Club just didn't exist? What would happen? Yeah. So in that one, he joins an underground fight ring, and he tries to defeat the champion, who is named Diablo Blood. Okay, and it's like so that was, and he has like a bit of a thing going on with Diablo Blood, but he's trying to figure out like but we have to wonder who Diablo Blood is. You know, I wonder who he could be. You know, type thing. So it is a different story. It's a much shorter story too. You Fight Like a Girl's like a monster. Like that one is like, that one's a whole novel series. Plus, with that one, it's like I was trying to figure out how we're gonna do it, because I knew doing the entire series as one trailer was gonna be impossible. That was gonna be impossible. And the fact that we crammed like a good chunk from just the first volume in our trailer was great. And you know, writing it, I was trying to drive myself a little nuts. Like, what exactly am I gonna put in here? I want to make sure there's enough of Angel. I want to make sure there's enough of Patrick and the girls and everybody else. So, you know, did you think we put a good enough amount in the trailer right there?
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, you know, a trailer is a short idea of like the general product, and I think we would definitely cover enough ground to promote probably the project for sure.
No, definitely. And another thing, so with the fight scenes, I wanted to ask about the fight scenes. Like when we were doing the fight scenes in the trailer, like how did you feel about it? Were you confident? And did you do fight scenes before as well? Yeah,
I mean, I took a lot of stage combat before, so I am familiar with how to. It was an interesting shift, just because I'm trained in theater more than camera, so definitely there's a little bit of adjustment there where you don't have to go as big as you usually go in theater. But yeah, I was feeling confident. And also like having a fight background helps a lot with like postures and how you move your body and how to like place certain punches and certain things. So yeah, I was feeling comfortable.
No, yeah, like me too. Like, you know, I've been in like school fights or something, but I never really fought for the camera before myself. And, you know, doing the fight scenes for me wore me out. Yeah. It's like after that, I was like, that's my workout for the year. After that, I was like, okay, I'm good for the rest of the freaking year. My back was hurting me and everything. I was like, oh, hell, man. I was like, I'll have to get in shape if this ever does pick up, or if I do this again, you know, for sure. Yeah, the fight scenes were interesting. You know, when you were fighting Noah, you know, who's like this big bully in the story. Yeah, like were the fight scenes fun for you too, though, to do?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's good. I wanted to make sure that they were fun. And yeah, getting like the camera angles was also a little tough to do too, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like we did a good job, and you know, I do have more planned for the story, and I do hope that we do get to act together again someday and anything. Do you have any questions or any other statements you'd like to say or anything like that?
I don't have questions. I think no, I'd just like to say that this is a really interesting project. Like it's something that definitely has a lot of room to explore. That's why I feel really attracted to it. I feel like I'm really intrigued and hooked, and I want to see where this goes further for sure. Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah. Thank you very much, Hector.
Of course,
it was really great talking to you.
Thank you.
And I hope you get like more projects in the future as well. You know, whether it's similar to this or anything. You know, just something I'm really helpful for. So, yeah, thank you very much, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And for all of you out there, thank you for tuning in, and stay beautiful.